Have you ever heard that urban legend that humans only use 10% of their brains? What if I told you that we actually use 100% of it, just not in the way you might think? The idea of unlocking your brain's full potential is tempting, almost like gaining a superpower. But would activating every region of the brain at once actually be a good thing, or an extreme danger? Take muscles, for example. Using 100% of a muscle is easy to define. It means activating all of its muscle cells. So by that logic, using 100% of your brain would mean activating all of its nerve cells, the neurons. And what happens if we actually do that? Well, it depends. It depends on what we mean by active neurons, because in a way, you, right now, just like everyone else, are already using all of them. Yes, they're all active. You are using 100% of your brain. In other words, that idea that we only use 10% of it is a myth. Because think about it. Why would we keep something so big if 90% of it served no purpose? From an energy perspective, the brain is incredibly expensive. Just to give you an idea, it only makes up about 3% of your body's weight, yet it consumes around 20% of all the energy you take in. That's right, 1 out of every 5 units of energy goes to your brain. That's because neurons require a ton of energy just to keep their membranes polarized. All cells in the body have membranes that separate the inside from the outside. Usually, there's not a huge electrical difference between the two sides. But in neurons, there's a whole molecular machine working non-stop to pump charged ions in and out of the cell, making the inside significantly more negative than the outside. This creates electrical poles, a polarized membrane. A neuron in that state is said to be at resting potential, which honestly isn't the best name because it's not resting. It's actively working to maintain that state. So yes, you are using your entire brain all the time. But a neuron at rest isn't sending signals to its neighbors just yet. It's just sitting there, trigger cocked, ready to fire at any moment. And when it receives a strong enough signal from another neuron, its membrane flips. What was negative becomes positive, and vice versa. That moment is when the cell moves from resting potential to action potential, which allows the signal to travel to other neurons. So let's use a different definition. Let's say using 100% of the brain means having all neurons in action potential at once, all firing simultaneously. What would happen? Well, first of all, that's impossible because many neurons exist specifically to inhibit other neurons. Still, let's stretch the idea a bit. Let's imagine that somehow, magically, we could make every neuron fire at the same time in a snap of a finger. So what would happen? Well, nothing. It would be like this white screen. Every pixel on your device is now emitting the maximum amount of light, and with that, all information is lost. You can describe exactly what you're seeing right now with just one sentence. All the pixels are white. But now, if you're seeing these images, there's a richness of detail. Almost every pixel is unique. More importantly, they're working together, and that's what creates meaning. That's what lets you see an image, a scene, a story. The brain works the same way. We don't get smarter by using 100% of it at once. Learning doesn't happen when all neurons fire. It happens when the right ones fire, in the right connections, at the right time. That's what it really means to get the most out of your brain. And for that, there is no 100% to reach. What we can achieve is limitless. Symphonies, skyscrapers, paintings, rockets, poems, and cures. All of it was created by a single type of object, the most complex structure we know in the entire universe, the human brain. If all your neurons fired at once, all of that would disappear. Complexity would dissolve. Your brain would become a blank screen, useless, formless, lifeless. And that is the opposite of life. Because what separates living systems from non-living ones is their ability to stay organized. Every day, we fight to push entropy, disorder, out of our bodies. But one day, we'll lose that fight. You and the entire universe will come to an end. Everything will be pure chaos. Entropy will take over, and reality will become a white screen. Uniform, shapeless, silent. But until then, let's keep using our brains in the best way we can.